Today's coaster clashes between two of the best RMCs in North America. Iron Rattler at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas in San Antonio, Texas, and Twisted Timbers at Kings Dominion in Doswell, Virginia. The last coaster clash video was Texas Stingray versus Mystic Timbers. While I thought that Texas Stingray was the better ride, collectively as a group you all voted for Mystic Timbers as the better of the two GCIs. This week we're going to go into depth and talk about the two RMCs I listed for you today. Let's start off with the drop. Iron Rattler has a good drop with a nice pop of ejector, but it's not that great of a first drop, I have to say. I was really expecting more. I had heard that because of the slanted drop that it was a lot of fun on a very good first drop. However, I did not find it to be anything special by any means. It was good, it was solid, but it was nothing fantastic. Twisted Timbers, however, has one of the most unique and fantastic drops ever. It has that barrel roll drop that's only found on 3 other coasters in the world: Medusa Steel Coaster and Storm Chaser. So this drop is fantastic. It's actually my favorite inversion, so I really enjoy Twisted Timbers' first drop. Airtime is a common theme among RMCs. They're often known for their fantastic ejector airtime, and both of these rides have that. Iron Rattler has some good pops of ejector, but there's nothing too sustained or crazy, however. The drop off the quarry wall is definitely the highlight of the ride for me. You really do get a good moment of ejector on that little airtime moment you get flying off the quarry wall. Twisted Timbers is really an airtime machine. Some of the best airtime out there, the 3 camelbacks and multiple bunny hills throughout the ride really add to the experience, and it really is one of the best airtime attractions out there. Talking about length, both of these rides are very similar in length. Iron Rattler is 3,266 feet long, and Twisted Timbers is 3,361 feet long. You're really not going to find a difference between these two rides in length. They're very similar in that aspect. Neither ride really feels longer than the other, so it makes sense that they're very similar in that aspect. Both rides do have very good theming. Iron Rattler has this desert rocky queue, and there's actually a couple of concrete statues of rattlesnakes at the entrance. The actual car itself actually has a rattlesnake on the front, and it has a rattler coming out of the back of it. So in terms of theming, it's pretty solid. Twisted Timbers has its Hanover Apple Orchard theming. It is old pickup trucks and worn down tractors, and there's also this mysterious orb. Unlike Iron Rattler, you kind of understand the theme of Iron Rattler is a snake. With Twisted Timbers, the theming isn't communicated very well, and if you actually haven't read the story from the website, it's very easy to get confused on what the theme is actually. Everything makes sense. You're in kind of an orchard, and then there's this weird orb in the middle of the orchard, and that really will throw people off if they haven't really read the story or don't really understand what the theming is truly about. One of the most drastic differences between these rides is the speed of these two coasters. Iron Rattler goes 70 miles an hour, and you can definitely feel it. It feels drastically faster than Twisted Timbers, which only goes 54 miles an hour. Definitely is not as fast as Rattler, but it definitely doesn't feel slow. I'm not going to say that. Twisted Timbers definitely maintains speed throughout the ride, and it feels like a fast ride, but you can definitely tell when riding Iron Rattler that you're going a lot faster than you are when you're riding Twisted Timbers. In terms of intensity, Iron Rattler has a fast and compact layout, flying up the quarry wall and then dropping back down off of it into a tunnel. It just feels like a very intense experience, and it really is a very intense experience. Twisted Timbers really isn't that intense. It isn't that meant to be an intense ride. Like I stated earlier, it is more of an airtime roller coaster. However, I will say the cutback element is probably the most intense moment of the ride. For a brief moment, you feel almost all the blood in your body rush to your head and then back down once the cutback is finished. However, Iron Rattler is definitely the more intense of the two. Iron Rattler's layout is nothing spectacular. I do like how it utilizes the terrain, but the layout itself isn't anything superb. Twisted Timbers, however, has a fantastic layout. I love how even though the ride is so small, you still interact with the structure so much. It truly is a mini Steel Vengeance. The pacing of these two rides is vastly different as well. Iron Rattler has a tad bit of pacing issues. Nothing too drastic, but it definitely loses speed throughout the ride. However, once it jumps back off the quarry wall, it will regain it until hitting the brakes. Twisted Timbers never loses speed, though. My personal favorite airtime moment is actually the very last airtime moment on the ride, and that's very uncommon for the very last element of the ride to be one of the best. Normally, you're going to say, oh, it kind of lost speed towards the end, and the very last element really didn't do it much for me. But Twisted Timbers' last airtime hill is probably my favorite airtime moment on the entire ride, and it's right before you hit the final brakes. That shows you how great the pacing of this coaster really is. That being said, it's time to find the winner of this edition of Coaster Clashes. we had again Iron Rattler at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, a fantastic RMC versus another great RMC, Twisted Timbers at King's Dominion. So, the winner is Twisted Timbers at King's Dominion. This is a fantastic RMC roller coaster, and what it lacks in stats, it makes up for with tremendous airtime moments. It might not look a lot on paper, but really it does bring a lot to the table. Some of the best airtime moments out there, and while I do love Iron Rattler, also, I really love Twisted Timbers, and I think it is the better ride. But what do you guys think? What is your favorite of the two, Iron Rattler or Twisted Timbers? Let me know, and the next time I do a Coaster Clash, I will release the winner of the audience poll. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys like the Coaster Clashes, let me know, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye, everyone.